What if I told you that while you're sleeping, an AI agent could be researching trending topics, writing engaging content, creating images, and posting to your social media accounts automatically? I know that sounds like science fiction, but I'm about to show you exactly how to build this system in the next 20 minutes. Most people think you need to be a developer or spend thousands of dollars on marketing tools to automate content creation. But here's the thing, that's not what you need. What you need is to understand how to connect 3 simple tools that can replace your entire content team. Because the biggest opportunity right now isn't hiring more people or buying expensive software. No, the biggest opportunity is building an AI content agent that works 24/7, never gets tired, and can produce content that actually gets likes and comments. I'm gonna walk you through my exact workflow that scrapes YouTube and Twitter for trending content, analyzing what's working, generates original posts with your brand voice, creates custom images, and publishes everything automatically. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete AI content system running that could save you 10 to 15 hours per week. And the best part, you don't need any coding experience. Now, I'm gonna give you the exact template, all the prompts, and show you every single step. So if you've ever wanted to automate your content creation but thought it was too complicated, this is for you. I added the AI tools that we're gonna use in the description so you can check it out. Before we even start building, I want to walk you through the finished demo so you know exactly where this workflow is headed. Think of it as the end product preview. We'll go through it together step by step so you can see how all the parts connect into one smooth automation. We will start things off inside the chat by entering N8N as the topic. While the scraping process spins up in the background, we will switch over to the Appify console to make sure everything is running. In this setup, 3 actors will do the heavy lifting: the YouTube Scraper, the Tweet Scraper V2 for X, and the YouTube Transcript Ninja. If you've ever browsed the Appify store, you know that there are hundreds of actors available, but these 3 are the backbone when it comes to social media scraping. From here, the workflow naturally breaks into 3 phases. First is scraping, which pulls in content related to the topic we gave it. Then comes content, research, and finalization. That's where ideas are generated, facts are verified, and prompts for images are prepared. Lastly, everything wraps up with image generation and posting. At this point, the workflow creates a Google document, sends it to Slack for review, and only after approval does it generate images and push the post live to LinkedIn. The best part is how it handles the approval stage. The flow doesn't just plow ahead, it pauses until someone steps in. Inside Slack, you'll see the generated document waiting. Once it's reviewed and approved, the automation picks up where it left off, creates the visuals, and finishes the job by publishing to LinkedIn. This walkthrough shows us the bigger picture before we write a single prompt or connect a single node. You're not just watching a scraper throw data around. No, you're looking at a system that collects information, fact checks it, adds images, and requires approval before anything goes public. That's the kind of structure we're going to build next, and by the time we're done, you'll be able to replicate it for your own topics. Now that you've seen the full demo flow in action, it's time to start building it piece by piece. We'll begin with the YouTube scrape flow, which is the first foundation of automation. The idea here is simple. We will take a topic provided by the user, scrape YouTube for the most relevant videos, pull transcripts from each one, and then clean and organize everything so the data is usable in later steps. At the end, we'll have structured YouTube content ready to merge with scraped X data in the next flow. The flow begins with a chat trigger, which we type in a topic, in this case, N8N. That input will be sent to an HTTP request node, which we will rename as scrape YouTube. We will also set the method post. Since the Appify API requires configuration, we are going to grab the synchronous run actor and get dataset items endpoint from the console and paste it into the URL field. With the method set to post and send body turned on, we will switch to JSON mode, paste in the prepared body, and run the request. After we execute it with N8N typed in chat, the scraper immediately returns relevant YouTube results. At this point, we've got a set of results, but they're all lumped together. To handle them properly, we will add a loop over items node so each of the 15 scraped videos is processed one by one. We configure the batch size with the prepare dynamic prompt and remove the placeholder replace me node. Inside the loop, we add another HTTP request node called transcribe. Back in Apify, we search for transcription actors and choose YouTube Transcript Ninja. Again, we grab the synchronous endpoint, paste it into the URL, switch to JSON, and drop in our prepared prompt. Connecting this transcribe node to the loop ensures every video script gets its transcript pulled automatically. Once the transcripts are running, we will connect it into a function node. This is set to run once for all items in JavaScript mode, and we will paste in the custom code. The script cleans the scraped data, merges all transcripts into a single YT full text field, and merges all titles and descriptions into a combined YT description field, separated neatly by commas. Running this step shows the cleaned output in the JSON view, everything bundled and formatted, though some entries may still be in other languages, which we'll clean up later. Finally, we will prepare the workflow to meet scraped X data by adding a merge node configured to combine inputs by position. That way, when we pull in Twitter results later, the YouTube data will be ready to align with it seamlessly. This flow leaves us with organized YouTube titles, descriptions, and full transcripts, all cleaned and merged into structured fields. With that foundation in place, we're ready to combine it with X data and continue shaping the larger automation. After wrapping up the YouTube flow, it's time to bring in X. This part is where we tap into what people are saying in real time. Short, punchy posts that capture trending conversations and balance out the longer ideas from YouTube. Together, they'll give us a richer dataset to work with later. We'll drop in an HTTP request node and call it scrapeX. The method is set to post, and we will link it to the chat trigger so it pulls straight from the topic the user entered. Over here in the Apify console, we are going to grab the Tweet Scraper v2 by API Dojo, head to the API endpoints, and copy the synchronous run actor and get dataset items link. Pasting that into the URL field, flipping on send body, switching to JSON mode, and dropping in the prepared prompt gets us ready to run. Once executed, it scrapes 100 tweets instantly. Of course, raw tweets come in messy, so the next step is adding a function node. We are going to configure it to run once for all items, set the language to JavaScript, and paste in the prepared code. That code neatly merges everything into two clean fields: X full text, which holds the full combined text, and X description, which captures shorter snippets. Now, instead of hundreds of scattered tweets, we've got structured blocks of usable content. The last move is connecting this function node to the merge that we are going to set up earlier. After we run it, YouTube data and X data flow into one combined output. Transcripts, descriptions, and social chatter all organized together. Right now, we've got a unified dataset that's ready to fuel content generation, research, and everything that comes next. Now that YouTube and X data are merged into one big dataset, the next step is cleaning it up. Since we're pulling content from all over the place, not everything will be in English, and that can cause problems later when we generate ideas or run AI-driven tasks. This is where a cleaning node comes in handy. We will add here a function node and set it to run once for all items in JavaScript mode. Inside, we will paste the prepared code that filters out non-English entries and keeps only the content we want to work with. Running it will trim the dataset down, so instead of noisy results in multiple languages, we're left with a cleaner, more consistent set of inputs. While we're here, it's also a good time to rename the nodes. Instead of leaving them with generic labels, we are going to give each one a clear, descriptive name so it's obvious what each step does at a glance. This might feel small, but once the workflow grows, having clear node names makes it way easier to follow along and avoid confusion. After working on this step, we've got a filtered dataset that's focused, usable, and much easier to process in the next stages, and a workflow that's organized enough for anyone to understand at a glance. The scraping and cleaning stages gave us a solid dataset to work with, so now we can finally start creating. This is where the workflow stops being just about data collection and actually begins producing ideas we can use. we're setting up what I call the content creation agent, the part that looks at all the YouTube transcripts and tweets we pulled in and turns them into fresh content angles. We will first drop in a note and label it scraping. This way, anyone looking at the workflow later can clearly see where the data collection part ends and where the content creation part begins. Right after that, we will add an AI agent node. Its prompt source is set to define below, which lets us paste everything directly inside the node. In the user message section, we will add a prepared prompt that tells the agent to generate content ideas. And in the system message section, we are going to paste the rules and style instructions that keep the output consistent. For the model, we will connect it through the Open Router chat model and select GPT-5 Nano. To strengthen the reasoning behind the outputs, we will also attach a think tool so the ideas aren't just surface level, but more thoughtful and structured. Before running the node, we can see here both the user message and system message prompts on screen, so it's clear how the agent is being guided. After running the workflow, as you can see, the clean dataset flows into the agent, and the output comes back as a list of content ideas, each one directly shaped by the videos and tweets we scraped earlier. This is the real turning point. Instead of just sitting on raw data, the workflow is starting to act like a creative partner, giving us ready-to-use ideas that we can build on in the next steps. Generating ideas is exciting, but ideas alone don't cut it. They need proof behind them. So the next step is all about research. Before we move forward, we want to make sure every idea we've created is fact-checked, reliable, and grounded in real information. That's exactly the research agent is designed to handle. We will set this up by adding another AI agent node and renaming it Research Agent. For configuration, the source for the prompt is set to define below. In the user message field, we will paste the prepared prompt that tells the agent to validate and strengthen the content ideas. Right below that, we will also paste the prepared system message, which sets the rules and tone for how the research should be delivered. To make sure the outputs are clean and structured, we will also enable require-specific output format, so everything comes back in a predictable, organized layout. For the model, we will select Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4 through Open Router, giving the agent strong reasoning power for fact-checking. A think tool is also attached, which helps the agent handle more complex logic and deliver insights that go beyond surface-level checks. Once the prompts and format are set, we run the workflow. You can see here that the output is a refined version of the content ideas we started with, each one backed by clear research and delivered in a structured format that can be referenced easily in the next steps. It's where the workflow shifts from simple idea generation into research-backed content creation, raising the quality and credibility of everything that follows. After the research step, the workflow gives us a ton of useful information: titles, hooks, angles, facts, trends, and sources. The problem is, it doesn't always come back in the cleanest or most consistent format. I want to keep things organized and ready for the next AI agents, so we will add a function node that cleans everything up and normalizes the output. The setup is simple. We will drop in a function node, set it to run once for all items in JavaScript mode, and paste in the prepared code. That script takes all the fields coming from the research agent and standardizes them in the prompt-ready blocks. It also does a little extra work, building facts block and trends block, creating fixed slots like fact 1, fact 2, and fact 3, and even adding a do the math line if numbers show up in the research. On top of that, it adds metadata like counts or evidence scores, which makes the results more reliable for downstream steps. After we execute the node, the output instantly looks cleaner. Instead of scattered fields, we've got neatly structured blocks that are easy for later AI agents to process without confusion. You can see everything from facts block and trends block to the individual fact slots and metadata like novelty and evidence score, all ready to be used in the next stage. All the pieces are in place. We've scraped, researched, and cleaned the data. So the next move is to package everything into final, ready-to-use outputs. This is where the final checklist agent comes in. Its job is to take all the work done so far and to generate three key things: a polished LinkedIn post text, an image prompt, and a clear title. Having these fields ready in one spot makes it easy to pass them downstream into Google Docs, Slack for approvals, and finally LinkedIn publishing. To set this up, we will add an AI agent node and rename it Final Checklist Agent. Just like with the research agent, we will feed in a prepared user message prompt and a system message prompt to guide the output. To make sure the results come back clean, we will require a specific output format and connect a structured output parser, pasting in the JSON example so the fields are locked into place. For the model, we are going to use Anthropic Claude Sonnet 3.7 through OpenRouter, a strong writing model that can handle tone and clarity, and attach a think tool to sharpen reasoning. Running the node pulls everything together into a neat, structured output. You'll see fields for the title, the LinkedIn post text, and the image prompt, all formatted and ready to be mapped into the later workflow steps. Now that this is in place, the content package is consistent, professional, and just one approval step away from publishing. The final checklist agent gives us exactly what we need, but those outputs are still sitting in the agent node. Now, I want to make sure they don't get lost or misreferenced later. We will set up a dedicated set fields node that organizes everything into clearly labeled fields. First, we will add a set node to the workflow and configure it for manual mapping. 3 fields go in: title mapped directly from the agent's title output, post text mapped from the LinkedIn post text, and image prompt mapped from the image prompt. Once these mappings are in place, we execute this step. After executing the step, you can see here the neatly packaged output where the title, post text, and image prompt each live in their own consistent fields. Instead of scattered data buried in a previous node, everything is labeled and ready to be passed downstream into Google Docs, Slack approvals, and finally, LinkedIn publishing. This one step makes the workflow cleaner and far more reliable. Now that the content is finalized and mapped into clean fields, the next step is to generate a polished document automatically. Instead of manually creating and formatting Google Docs every time, we connect the workflow to Google Drive and Google Docs so that every run produces a ready-to-share file in the right place. Alright, we will start by adding a Google Drive copy file node. This takes an existing template we've set up in Drive and duplicates it for each new workflow run. In the configuration, we will select the template file, set the operation to copy, and map the file name so it automatically pulls the title from the workflow. With copy in the same folder enabled, every new document gets dropped right alongside the template, already titled and ready to use. Executing the step shows a brand new copy with the correct name. From there, we are going to add a Google Docs Update a Document node. This one is set to update and connected directly to the ID from the Google Drive copy node. With Simplify enabled, we can map the post text field from earlier in the workflow into the text input. After the step is executed, the new document is instantly populated with the generated LinkedIn post content. Heading over to Google Drive confirms that everything worked. The copied template is renamed with the workflow's title, and the body of the document is already filled in with our content. Every run follows the same format and drops into the same folder, keeping the whole process professional, consistent, and effortless. After the content is drafted or organized in Google Docs, the workflow pauses to make sure nothing slips through without a second look. This is where Slack comes in as the approval hub. Rather than publishing straight away, the system automatically reaches out to the team with a message that contains the document link, giving everyone the chance to review before anything moves forward. To make this possible, a Slack send message and wait for a response node is added. In its configuration, the resource is set to message and the operation to send and wait for a response. We are going to point it to a specific channel so the team can see it right away, then paste in the prepared prompt so the workflow posts the full URL automatically instead of just the ID. Finally, we will add the approval options approve and disapprove, giving reviewers a simple one-click way to decide whether the content should move forward. Let's execute this step. After that, the message instantly appears in the Slack channel with a document link included. Team members can open it directly from there to review the content before making a decision. In order to move the workflow forward, we are going to click Approve inside Slack, which signals the automation to continue into the next stage. Now, to enforce that logic, the workflow uses an if node as the checkpoint. The condition is mapped to the approved value from the Slack response and checks whether it's true. If it is, the automation carries on. If not, the process ends there. This safeguard makes sure that only ideas passing human review are allowed to move forward, protecting quality and ensuring brand alignment at every stage. For approved content, the workflow moves into the creative finishing touch, generating visuals. In the true branch of the if node, an OpenAI generate image node is added. Using the GPT Image 1 model, it takes in the image prompt field that we prepared earlier and produces an image designed to match the approved text. After execution, the result is a custom graphic that pairs with a content idea, giving it visual impact for publishing. The combination of Slack approval, the conditional checkpoint, and automated image generation creates a balanced flow. Every post has a clear gate where a person can step in and make the final decision, while still benefiting from AI to speed up execution. The result is content that isn't just fast to produce, but also reviewed, refined, and visually complete before it ever goes public. Everything we've done so far has been building towards this point, pairing the final text with a matching image and sending it out as a complete post. The workflow already has both pieces, the text from the set fields node and the image from the generate image node. And the job of the step is to merge them into one package and publish it directly to LinkedIn. Alright, we're making that possible. First, we will add a merge node and configure it to combine by position with two inputs. Input 1 is connected to the generate image node, while input 2 comes from the set fields node. After executing the step, the two outputs are aligned, giving us a single dataset that contains both the written post and the accompanying image. This is the crucial link because without the merge, the content and visuals would still be separate streams, but now they're tied together and ready for publishing. Since the content is already unified, the next thing we need to do is add the LinkedIn Create a Post node. We will configure it with a resource set to post and the operation set to create. The post will be published as a person, so we are going to select the account from the list under person name or ID. For the content, we will map the text field from the merge node, choose image as the media category, and point the input binary field to data so the generated image is included. After this node runs, the workflow will publish a complete LinkedIn post automatically, combining the approved text with a custom image. This last piece completes the automation loop, from scraping YouTube and X to generating ideas, fact-checking, approvals, and images. Each step flows seamlessly into this moment where the final post goes live. No manual uploads, no extra formatting, just consistent on-brand posts ready to engage an audience. There you go, that's the complete workflow. This shows what happens when you stitch different tools together into one clean system. A single idea turns into research, content, approvals, visuals, and finally a live LinkedIn post. All without hopping between apps or repeating the same steps over and over. It's automation doing exactly what it should, taking the heavy lifting out of the process. The cool part is that this isn't locked to LinkedIn or even this exact flow. Once you understand how the pieces fit, you can swap in different platforms, change the prompts, or expand the steps to match whatever you're trying to publish. It's flexible by design, which means you're never stuck running the same thing if your goals shift. If you want to keep exploring how far these workflows can go, stick around. I've got more builds coming that push the boundaries even further, and I'd love to hear what directions you want to see next. Automation's only getting more powerful. The fun part is figuring out how we put it to work.